So this was back in like early 2010s. Teach me how to Dougie, the party rock anthem, the shuffle thing. Until now, I still don't know how to do the shuffle. It was back in high school. I was young, I was immature. Until now, I'm pretty impressionable. So I had this significant other. When I was younger, I was like, whoa, you're my girlfriend? Okay, cool. It's complex having relationships. You have to pay the bills, you need to pay the rent, the money, the dates, the marriage thing, and then you're gonna have to save money for the dates and like contracts, the marriage, who's gonna pay for the marriage. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So I had the significant other. I was in this high school. I found out that some guy, let's just call him Mr. Nuggy, liked her. Let's just call my significant other Lou. So it turned out, before me and Lou were a thing, Mr. Nuggy, he was pretty angry because he didn't get to claim Lou's heart. I did. I heard, like, word in that, like, certain high school of mine, word spread out like wildfire. They were like, something's gonna happen once we leave the school. Mr. Nuggy is out for blood. He's gonna beat you into submission or something like that. And I was putting on airs. I was like, huh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? He's gonna do a friggin' 360. Whatchamacallit? They were like, well, alright, you do you. Just be careful. It was time to go home. I went out the exit. I was there faster than Lou. I came out and then I saw Mr. Nuggy and his lackeys were like outside. They were standing still. Their feet were like wide apart. Their arms were like, ready to fight. And then it was pretty crowded because, it was time to go home. And then they were looking at me. They were staring at me menacingly. And then I pretended not to notice anything. Then, I walked a bit, walked a few micro blocks, like a few meters away from the exit, because near the exit of my high school there was this sort of like a small stall where they sell pencils and pens and the friggin' triangle rulers and the protractors, and then like candies, friggin' Tootsie Roll, gummy worms. You know those candies with like the gummy candy that's shaped like a vampire's teeth. Anyways, I went there like la 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 la. I'm not seeing anything. What was I scared back then? Not much. That's a mystery. Like, why wasn't I scared? I wasn't even trembling or shaking, or my heart wasn't beating fast. So yeah, I went to the small stall, then I was like fiddling around with the pens, like I was about to buy one of the pens. Mr. Nuggy's lackeys, they were like planning stuff. They started to take off their backpacks, and then they started to take off their uniforms. They're like tank tops, like the fitted tank tops. There I was, observing the different sorts of pencils. The pencils were pretty sharp. They were like long pencils, like yellow pencils, green pencils, blue pencils, like with the different kinds of lead. Then I was there. I started to touch one of the pens. Then I noticed one of Mr. Nuggy's lackeys was beside me. Then he was like grabbing the pens as well, similar to me, but like more slowly. And then he started to hold it like in a stab, in like a knife. And then, good thing I had a relative there. It was a special thing. They were going to pick me up because they had to go somewhere to a relative, not home, because my parents were there, like somewhere. They were in my relative's house, and then I had to go as well. Came to pick me up. Good thing that relative, saw the lackey, and they were like, what? Grabbed him by the wrist, and then they were like, "Oop, you don't want to do that." And then everybody was like, yo, and then blah blah blah. But my relative was like diplomatic about it. If there's any problem, I'd like you guys and your leader to talk to Yan He and settle this once and for all. But of course, we're gonna have to go to the authorities because you were about to stab him. Am I correct? And then the lackey was like, no, no, I wasn't about to stab him. Oh, come on, it was obvious. You were holding the pen like a knife. And then, I didn't get hurt. Disciplinary actions were done. They had to write some stuff on a piece of paper, like public apology to me. No offense, their handwritings were a bit, pretty difficult to read. Took me like 2 minutes to decode everything. So yeah, that's the time I almost got stabbed by a pen. This has been Henhi. Thank you.